Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic: Israel and Iran continue to escalate, and we are Israel's Independence Day, Hebrew year 5781, 2021 on our Gregorian calendar. So, April 14th, 2021, and this is Israel's 73rd year of rebirth, of being a state. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu marked the occasion with remarks regarding Israel's handling of the coronavirus, and his statements included commentary of the previous year's Abraham Accords with Arab neighbors in the Circle of Peace. So for those of you who are interested in those comments, here they are, courtesy the Prime Minister of Israel's Twitter feed. And I think this is about, a minute and a half or so, maybe 2 minutes. You can check that out and listen to it. Listen to his comments on how Israel is managing the coronavirus, and also reflecting on the year's peace agreements with Arab neighbors and looking forward to others as well. So today also marked a missile attack on an Israeli commercial ship, the Hyperion Ray. The ship is reported to transport cars. Multiple news outlets around the world are reporting Iran likely carried out the attack. The incident occurred off the coast of the United Arab Emirates in the Gulf of Oman. Injuries are not reported at the time of this post, and damage to the ship is reported to be light. And before we get into the Twitter feeds, we'll jump over here on a map. Take a look at our map here in the Middle East. You got Jerusalem over here in the far west. You got Tehran up here in the north. And we're going to focus in down here on the Gulf of Oman and where this incident took place. And, here we are, the Straits of Hormuz right here. Here's Iran, and we are looking at this area here, Fujairah and Khor Fakkan. So somewhere out here in this part of the Gulf of Oman is where the event took place. So for those of you who are interested in the geography of the region, get a lay of the land where these things are taking place. There you go. Dubai's over here on the other side of the Straits of Hormuz. So plenty of action taking place around the seas of the Middle East. And then also we're going to take a look. I'll go ahead and zero in for a tighter look at Iran. Specifically, we're going to be looking at where Natanz is, just to give you an idea. So here's Natanz. Isfahan, I think I mispronounced that earlier. Isfahan is located due south of the capital of Tehran, and Natanz is where a nuclear facility is located. And we're going to pick up on that topic a little bit later. But back to the events out in the Gulf of Oman, and this is from Hans de Vries, I don't know which, but I believe he's Belgian. And he was following this incident. The track of the Belgian frigate Leopold I, it's a Navy ship, near the attacked vehicles carrier, Hyperion Ray. The AIS signal of the frigate is real-time. The last signal of the Hyperion Ray is 12 hours old. Unclear why it has switched off. It goes on to say the Belgian frigate BNS Leopold I is patrolling in the Gulf of Oman in an area where the Israeli-owned vehicles carrier Hyperion Ray was attacked. The exact position of that ship is unknown. Leopold I is an asset of a European naval mission near the Strait of Hormuz. So Europe has ships out there patrolling the waters, effectively trying to stop nonsense like this and pirates that are out there doing things as well. So, and this attack comes on the heels of Iran's nuclear facility at Natanz being struck. And that was 2 days ago. Essentially Sunday, Iran's nuclear site was struck by a cyber attack, which resulted in an explosion, allegedly. Thousands of centrifuges, and this stuff's starting to leak out. You hear a little bit more every day. And now the report is thousands of centrifuges, which were reported to be at least 150 feet underground, were destroyed. Now, I love the semantics of all this stuff. The Israeli press referred to the event as an accident. The Iranian press referred to the event as terrorism. And initially, it was reported as an electrical blackout. And it says, we had some blackouts, electrical blackout, and there was an accident at the Natanz nuclear facility. And this is the same nuclear facility that was struck in July of 2020. And this time, a different part of the plant was affected. So, highly recommend this article. BBC has provided a comprehensive look at the attack, the scientific process of how centrifuges work, and the geopolitical situation surrounding these events. And you can click on this link below and get some really good information if you want to take a deeper dive into this sort of thing. So, highly recommend it. And again, Natanz, Tehran in the north of Iran, Isfahan due south, and then probably 20, 40 miles is Natanz. And we'll click on Natanz. Doesn't show where the nuclear place is on this. I'm sure it does if I know where to find it. I think you could probably find that at the BBC. Give you a little flavor of what this looks like. Here's a little satellite shot of the plant. And then as well, which is pretty much what we were talking about. But this breaks down. This is the location of the 2020 explosion. Underground enrichment sites. Here's where the centrifuge laboratories are located. And apparently 150 feet below this is where the accident took place. Some of the previous satellite images, I mean, that it looked like a burner from the ground up or from underneath the ground. And the top of the mountains were black. Just looked like a Bunsen burner had been set off. And, if you could have seen it in real time, makes you wonder if you wouldn't have seen fire come out of the mountains. Very interesting look, how everything was charred in and around the nuclear facility at Natanz. And the same day the accident occurred in Natanz, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu met with the new U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. And Netanyahu didn't mince any words. He stated he will not allow Iran to obtain nuclear weapons. And again, for those of you who want to check this out, you can go to the Twitter feed of the Prime Minister of Israel, English version. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met today with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. Welcome to Jerusalem. Your visit here so soon after assuming office is a testament to the importance you attach to our friendship and to our alliance. And also within this, I think this is about 14 minutes, he does make the statement and makes it very clear. He will not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Just can't have it. And I suppose in closing, the reminder at some point in the future, the prophet Ezekiel tells us Iran will join forces with Russia and look to invade Israel from the north. Ezekiel 38:5, Persia, that's who we're talking about, the ancient name of Persia, which is known that for centuries, became Iran in the 20th century. And so that's pretty straightforward in this prophecy. Persia, or modern-day Iran, Ethiopia, which is most likely Ethiopia, Sudan, and Put, which is modern-day Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. They're going to join the party. And follow the leadership of Russia and its allies, and those folks will receive a divine whipping like they have not experienced before. And for those who want to see the details of that whipping, check out Ezekiel 38 and 39. Its point's pretty simple. God's going to reveal who he is, and don't do it. Friend I used to play baseball with, don't do it, dog. Well, they're going to do it. And, Iran's been having some difficulties over the last year. They've had assets exploding throughout the country, their country of Iran, and at sea for the last year. And if you want to read about that, I've got several posts on that. PaulthePoke.com, category, Persia, Elam, Iran. But in the meantime, the shadow war continues. So, I don't expect Iran to get obliterated. Now, they may get their nose bloodied a few times before they decide to take it up a little more serious with Russia. And Russia's probably not going to like getting their stuff blown up. So they'll pull Iran a little closer and decide, we're tired of these little folks down there on the Mediterranean coast, and we need to do something about it. Let's go take their oil and gas. But personally, I think we're at least a couple of years away from that until Israel gets their infrastructure up and running for the distribution of natural gas to Western Europe. I don't think anything's going to happen until then, because that's the whole point of the invasion, for spoil and booty. They want it for economic gain. And to me, it just makes no sense to go after that natural gas out in the Mediterranean until Israel is able to process it, distribute it, and sell it to Western Europe. And when that happens, they'll cut into Russia, Turkey, and Iran's bottom line. And it's all about the money. Then it'll matter. Then they'll go after them. So that's my take on it. And I could be dead wrong about that, but that kind of makes sense, fits the prophecy. The question just boils down as to how long that's going to take. So only God knows the timing of that, but he does tell us what's going to happen. So if you enjoy this, please feel free to share with others at PaulthePoke.com. Also, for those of you who are new, type in your email address here in the gray box, hit subscribe. You'll receive notification every time we put something out. This is categorized. So of any of these categories, we got all kinds of articles written in and around these topics. This one will be under Persia, Elam, and Iran. I also did provide a link to that category down here at the bottom of the post, PaulthePoke.com, category Persia, Elam, Iran, and some other key SEO words where you might find this: Abraham Accord, Circle of Peace, Ezekiel 38:39, Gulf of Oman, Hyperion Ray, etc. So appreciate you guys following. Hope you have a great day, and happy birthday to the nation of Israel for the 73rd time since becoming a nation again. Talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye.